Do you know the history of the GDP metric that we use and where it actually came from? It's so widely used by investors and economists and governments, but really, what is it actually measuring and what's the origin of it? Well, I was watching this podcast the other day by this economist named Richard Werner. And I want to tell you what he said about this because it kind of not really blew my mind, but it again added more perspective to what I already know. And this was a really cool piece of history that makes you kind of think about GDP in a completely different way. So when you understand that we live in a debt-based economy and it's driven by credit expansion, and without the credit expansion, aka creating money out of nothing and injecting it into the economy, anytime you get a loan that's creating money, they're not actually backing it, they're just creating more money and giving it to you. Without that, the system would collapse. It's a giant bubble and it would just collapse on itself. So what he was talking about is where did the way we calculate GDP actually come from? Well, he said it started just before the creation of the Bank of England. And the Bank of England is a central bank, just like the Federal Reserve is for America. And the reason for this is because the bankers, before they set up the Bank of England, they were going to lend to England. And they wanted to have statistics to measure how much the people of England could feasibly pay. So this is what national income accounting was actually created for. They wanted to be able to have stats to measure how much people could feasibly pay without breaking the system. So essentially, GDP is a measurement of how much people can pay, people of the nation. What is their ability to service the national debt? Kind of makes you think differently about GDP now, right? So if you want to continue participating in a system that is allowed to harvest your energy like that, the bankers can harvest your energy, and then they're just measuring it with GDP to see how much they can actually take without people getting broken, essentially. Well, you can continue on the fiat world. But if you want to change that and move to a system where that can no longer happen, you can start using Bitcoin. And if you're not sure where to get started with that, you can check out my free guide that I dropped. It's called Your First Step into Bitcoin. If you comment first step in the comments below, I'll get you a link to get that guide. And remember that your energy is much more useful directed at what you want to see in the world, what you want to build, and not at fighting what you don't want to see.